Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a minute since Hiyuki came out. Some could say actually closer to around 2 minutes or 2 weeks. And we've all had the opportunity over here to build this unit, play around a little bit with her, try out some of her combos, and of course, see all of the fantastic animations in her kit. But you might have come to the same realization that I have when you're trying to get all of her different resources, all of her different moves, all of the stuff activated properly. It can be a little bit clunky sometimes. And I think the biggest issue that Hiyuki obviously has, if you've ever played her, especially in some endgame content, is her getting interrupted in the middle of her combos. You drop a move or two, you gotta like reset, you don't get her Yai attacks off in time, and the big one, when you're using her with Lene, right? When you're using her with Lene, you run into this issue. Lene's outro skill only lasts for 14 seconds, and your Hiyuki ends up taking a little bit longer than 14 seconds to actually get her rotation down, and you end up missing this entire 40% liberation damage amplification for when Hiyuki's using the biggest attack in her kit. And that can kind of suck. So what we're going to be doing today is actually walking through some refinements, some extra things that you can do in your Hiyuki's rotation to A, rotate faster, B, reduce the chance that you're actually going to be interrupted, and C, this is the big one, feel pretty much no need at all to actually get her S1. No need at all to actually get this to make her feel buttery smooth in her runs. So yeah, that's gonna be the purpose for today. Let's go ahead and actually break down where we're gonna be doing this. It shouldn't matter too much, simply because you're gonna be learning her we're gonna be learning new rotations over here. But I think the best spot to actually demonstrate what's wrong with her baseline rotation is actually going to be this stage over here. So yeah, it's gonna be regular crownless in the hazard zone. Nothing too crazy to really talk about over here. So yeah, this is the team that we're going to be running. Hiyuki's build and all of that shouldn't really matter, and neither should Lene's. It's just, yeah, again, this is just a rotational guide. But you'll see how much damage this stuff is doing with my level of investment. I've got Lene's weapon and a pretty good Hiyuki. So first things first, we're just going to do a regular rotation in this team. Just go in, Chisa, attack. Then just keep doing her attacks until you get her scissors. And then boom. Now we're going to go in here. Skill on Lene. Then use her liberation. Then use her charge and her echo skill. And then boom. We're on Hiyuki, right? And this is what most people typically do. They get her into her second ult, then double skill. And then do a rotation like that. This, if you're not interrupted at all, will be pretty consistent. Will work out pretty well. And of course, you'll be able to do pretty much all of your full damage, which is a shit ton in this team. However, you're not going to be able to consistently do a rotation like that against every single boss and against every single enemy. Because this is kind of like the situation over here, right? We can just be on Hiyuki right here, and it'll kind of show you what's going on. Crownless is one of those characters that can interrupt you and fuck you up a lot, as you can see over here. And we got lucky in our first run where we just went ahead and parried his ass. Now, though, let's just try to do a Hiyuki rotation over here where maybe we don't hit all those parries. Okay, now we're hitting them actually really well right now. We're hitting them actually really well right now, though. That's a little bit unfortunate. Yo, this guy is he's throwing right now. He's throwing right now. He usually doesn't do this. All right. I will. Okay. Maybe like my Hiyuki is really motivated right now. Perhaps this isn't the best place for us to demonstrate this. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and pull up one of my prior videos. And this This will be a pretty good demonstration. Maybe I should have just started with this one. Yeah, no, this is gonna be a good demonstration. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. We got it right here. You're just gonna watch me get my ass beaten over and over and over. Automatically, just outro skill in the middle of the animation. Lene's rotation, as we all know, is like the easiest shit ever.
Too late to heed the summon.
Hiyuki's starting rotation is also giga easy. So you use your first ult after that heavy attack. Double skill. Oh dear.
It's been so long. Be gone.
You'll like double skill and then basic attack until you're full. Then you're gonna Yai attacks. And notice how the outro skill ran out. That is something that occurs so often when you're just trying to do her basic attack and have the chain not be interrupted. Once again, I double skilled here. Cool. I try to do the basic attack chain to do all 5 of her basic attacks. And bro, the issue is basic attacks 4 and 5 right here. This move over here, followed by this move over here. Bro, it takes way too long. It takes way too fucking long. And so I decided, hey, what if I theory crafted a little bit over here? I'm getting my ass interrupted. These last 2 hits do like fucking nothing. No damage. And then they also take like 5 seconds to complete. What if we found a way to just skip it? And so, well, let's check out the new rotation. Okay, maybe not when he's flying up in the air.
Dead center, lock. Come, meet your end. To pieces. Connection 7. Don't blink.
Now check this out. Same exact sort of movement on Hiyuki over here. But check out what we do. We do basic attacks. 1, 2, 3. And then during the animation, right? Of the 3rd basic, we skill. Do her air attacks. And then skill again to come down. Then do 1 last basic attack. And then do your Yais. And you'll essentially have this one. And you can see, it's basically dealing the same exact amount of fucking damage, applying the same amount of Glacio Chafe, but it's just coming out way faster. So why don't we go ahead and do it with just Hiyuki over here, right? Bro, I'm getting my ass beat. Yeah, she's kind of a sniper. Mail deleted? What was that? And would you look at that? It's consistent. It's consistent. You get off all 3 of your Yai attacks. The rotation is faster. And probably the most important thing, you're doing like half of your Forte generation in the air. And you'll see just how beneficial that is for making it so you don't get interrupted. Ah, shit, I messed it up there because you can mash your E too much. You can mash your E a little bit too much and end up double casting it. So try, like, not to do that.
Take your final dive.
Now let's do it over here. You just got to make sure you do that final attack. That final basic attack right before landing. And then you'll have the entire combo ready to go. All 3 of your Yais when you finally do dodge. And this rotation makes it almost impossible to lose Lene's outro skill in its 14-second duration because you're taking way less time to charge up all of her stuff and get it ready to go. So now we're going to do our last little tactic over here. And this one's going to be a little bit interesting. Hiyuki's instant heavy attack rotation. So you actually start off on Hiyuki over here and then do an attack like that.
Nothingness. Deconstruct
use her skill, and then the follow-up.
to pieces. Cutting through the
That
numbers.
follow-up basic allows you to basically come in and have her full forte. And then you just heavy attack right after intro skilling in. If you put all the pieces together, it'll look like this.
Come. Meet your end. Structural collapse. Connection severed. Tie a bow.
And then you'll end up doing an insanely fast rotation on your Hiyuki. You'll take up a little bit of extra time at the start,
You should have run. Heed the sun. A life as fleeting as the first.
and then boom.
Fading blue. Evanescent morning dew. Vanish.
And then after you end your ult over here, you can do the same exact thing that you just did. And I probably don't need to finish off this rotation. But that's all of the different ways that you can take Hiyuki, right? And speed in her stuff up so you don't end up in like these situations, right? That you'll frequently find yourself in. And so now the last little iteration that we're going to be doing over here is a little bit of experimentation on the final floor of the TOA. Because if you've been fighting floor 4, you probably already know, damn, the bosses over there are kind of fucking annoying. The bosses of like the Mephis as well as the False Sovereign can be some of the hardest ones to fight because you'll get interrupted a lot against these two. And so let's do a run. Maybe we'll do like some comparisons and stuff like that on the side. I don't really know. Editor, you can decide what you want to do. We're gonna be running the same Hiyuki team. This is shield for her, so it'll clear fast. One Hiyuki team doing the baseline rotation with no additional bells and whistles, and then another team doing all of the optimizations that we talked about. So, yeah, this is what we're going to be doing over here. So, get ready. This first team is going to be like the vanilla one. This is going to be the vanilla one that doesn't have anything really extra added onto it.
Excise. In a breath. Tether snap. Flicker a pivotal.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit annoying at the start, but you guys know why I'm doing that.
Down to the structural collapse. Connection severed. Tie a bow and call that my signature.
All right.
That's all you got. You can trust me. Too late to escape.
And remember, no cancels, no combos here.
Dissipate. Be gone. Fading blue. Follow my moves if you can.
One of our attacks actually missed.
May the sakura incinerate. Burn this self away.
Well, that's a little bit interesting.
Dismantle. With nothingness.
Well, yeah, that guy almost got one shot.
To pieces. Break up structure.
So yeah, what happened over there is that my Chisa got hit in the middle of her jump and then didn't do her slam.
Let that be.
Yeah, and now this is where the stuff is gonna get really tricky.
All in my wake. Worry not for me. Be cautious. Stand back. Fading blue. Evanescent morning dew. Vanish.
That was a little bit scary, wasn't it, boys?
Gazing at the snow.
That was a little bit scary, wasn't it, boys?
Mantle. Flicker into form.
Oh, we don't have any ER because we missed our slam.
This end come. Meet
Oh,
your
yeah.
end. Cutting through the numbers. Special delivery. Goes boom. Go over here. Shake it up. Need a ride, sweetheart?
All right.
You should have run. Heed the sun. Take your final
I can't see
dive
shit.
into Naraka. Be cautious. Stand back. I've seen this coming.
You can already see the issues, right? Her generation, and then like, bro, if you dodge, you're gonna enter Yai stance, right? You can't really dodge either when you're playing Hiyuki, otherwise you enter your Yai stance when you don't want to, right? It's not real. It's a little, she can be a little bit clunky there because you want to dodge, but you can't dodge because then you go, and you only be able to you do a little slashy twice. So do you see why having that rotation where you cancel some of your attacks, you end up in the air, stuff like that, can be a lot better against enemies that aggressive? Yeah, the Yai input being a dodge, a little bit cancerous. So now let's go ahead. Let's try this out again.
Your days are numbered.
Dismantle. A pivotal moment. Structural collapse. Break apart. Tie a bow and
All right, and we're putting in some of the optimizations this time. Don't worry, boys.
Heed the sun. Take your final dive
Here we go.
into Naraka. Down you go. Fading blue. Follow my
Doesn't that
if
just,
you can.
isn't that just so much smoother?
For
Isn't that
all
just so much smoother? Like, that just looks insane, does it not?
Lifeline blocked. To pieces. Flick of nothingness. Deconstructed. This ends here.
Oh, getting some big, okay. Nope, that didn't work.
Don't blink. You'll
Bro,
miss the best.
I don't know. Something about this false sovereign dude, bro. He is like not balanced.
Need a ride, sweetheart?
Like, he might be the most broken moveset in the game. It's actually overpowered for a boss. Night and day, is it not?
prepared for this. Have you not?
Woo! Maybe 118 ER. I need like a little bit more.
Burn this self away.
Dead center blocked. Flicker into form.
Where's my ER? Oh, right. I lost my slam. I lost my slam. That's why.
Cutting through the numbers. Special delivery. Go.
Yeah, I lost my slam there.
Go, shake it up. Mark, one more.
You should have run. Keep us up. A life as fleeting as the first snow. Drift with snowflakes. All in my wake. Fading blue.
And even when he is dashing a little bit, because we only need to use our first basic after we land, very easy to fill up anything that's remaining after that combo. And this is the big thing. You can actually use tune breaks and stuff like that to try to like speed up her rotation a little bit, weaving combos using a tune break. I decided, hey, why don't we just show off rotations and show off gameplay that doesn't involve tune break at all? Simply to show at a baseline, even when the tune break window isn't during Hiyuki's rotation, what you're actually capable of. And as you can see over there, the difference between those two in terms of like smoothness, the difference between those two rotations in terms of like where you can get hit, where you're vulnerable, it's so much safer to do the second one, so much faster to do the second one. And then you can also weave in so much stuff with the time savings at the end of your rotation to make your next one even faster too. And one thing that's happening for certain, if you use these tactics over here, your Linnea's outro skill will like never run out. It will never run out And that is currently, I think, the biggest issue everyone is having running this team. So, yeah. Hopefully, this breakdown, this overview, and the gameplay demonstrations that we've had over here don't look at, like, the clear times and stuff or anything about, like, oh, this one rotation is much faster and stronger than the other. One is, absolutely, but, yeah. Take the shilling out of here and you won't be clearing in, like, a minute and 30 seconds. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.